My dear students, I am sure you all are fine. Students, as we have started our online classes, so here I am explaining you the next part of our chapter, that is improvement in food resources. But let's recall quickly what we have studied in our previous class. We have studied about sustainable agriculture, organic farming, crop variety improvement, objectives of crop variety improvement. Now my dear student, we will study about what are the various crop variety improvement. Improved crop varieties can be developed by introducing desired genes in the genotype of crop plants. This is called genetic manipulation. It is possible through hybridization. So what is hybridization? It is a process of combining different varieties of organism to create a hybrid, or in simple way, hybridization is the process of producing offspring by mating two parents from different varieties or species. Next in this category is recombinant DNA technology. What do you mean by recombinant DNA technology? In recombinant DNA technology, the genes this is a recent method of crop improvement to introduce desired genes directly into the nucleus of plant cells and growing plants from such cells by tissue culture. Such plants are called genetically modified plants or transgenic plants. Third is mutation breeding. Chemical mutagens such as ethyl methane sulfonate or dimethyl sulfonate, they are used to generate mutant plant with desirable traits. Mutation breeding, it is sometimes referred to as variation breeding. It is a process of exposing seed to chemicals or radiation in order to generate mutants with desirable traits. In polyploidy is a method in which polyploidy is the presence of more than two complete sets of chromosomes in a cell or an organism. The additional chromosome sets can be from the same species or from the different species. So I hope all these points are clear. Now next part of our chapter is crop production management. If you remember, we are studying these points in improvement in crop yield. So first we have studied about crop variety improvement. Now we will study about crop production management. Crop production management, it includes nutrient management, irrigation management and cropping pattern. So first of all, what is nutrient management? We know that like other living organisms, plants also require inorganic elements for their growth and metabolism. These inorganic elements, they are called nutrients. There are about 40 elements found in the plant ash, but only 16 elements are essential for plant growth and development. These 16 elements are called essential elements or essential plant nutrients. Out of these 16 elements, 9 elements, they are required by the plant in relatively large quantities, so they are called as micronutrients, and the other 7 elements, they are required in comparatively smaller quantities, so these are called micronutrients. Now we know that cultivation of same crops again and again on the same agricultural land depletes mineral nutrients in the soil. So deficiency of nutrients in the soil, definitely it is going to affect the physiological processes in plants such as growth, reproduction, susceptibility to diseases, etc. In order to restore soil fertility and increase crop yield, the soil is replenished with mineral nutrients by adding manures. Now, what do we mean by manure? Manure is partially decomposed organic matter which is derived from plants and animal waste. It is added to soil to restore its fertility and mineral contents. It is prepared by the decomposition of cattle excreta and plant waste. Now there are three types of manure or four types of manure, which are farmyard manure, compost, vermicompost and green manure. Farmyard manure. As the name suggests, as from the name only you are getting that farmyard manure is a manure that we are getting from the farmland area. So it is called farmyard manure because it is prepared from organic remains of farm cattle and crop residues. That is from cattle excreta, farm litter, leftover roughage or fodder. It is generally brown in color. Next in this category is compost. It is a mixture of decomposed organic matter derived from garbage, sewage, sludge, animal refuse, kitchen waste, fallen leaves and vegetable waste. Vermicomposting. Vermicomposting, we use earth forms to decompose the organic matter. So manure prepared by introducing earth forms in the heap of organic matter is called vermicompost. Green manure, as the name suggests, we are getting it from the green plant. But how we are getting it? It is prepared by cultivating fast growing leguminous plant like sunham, guar in the field before sowing the proper crop. So when these crop plants reach a particular height, the field is plowed again and the uprooted plants are mulched and left for about 2 months in the field. These get decomposed and converted into green manure. So manure, it is very beneficial for the soil because it is not harmful for, first of all, it is not harmful for the environment and it is providing the nutrients to the soil. But it is having some disadvantages or some limitations too. Like manure supplies low quantity of nutrient to the soil. The nutrients, they release very slowly in the soil. Manure cannot be used to treat soil for a specific mineral deficiency because manure is not nutrient specific. Now in the next slide you will study about fertilizers are the sources of plant nutrients manufactured commercially from chemicals. Fertilizers, they supply nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium to the soil. Basically they are used for good vegetative growth, giving rise to healthy plants. Fertilizers are one of the major components for obtaining higher yield, especially in high cost farming practices. But the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides has enhanced crop production tremendously in recent years, but at the same time, they have been responsible for many environmental hazards and disturbing the ecological stability. Hence, we cannot utilize fertilizers in a very large amount to our field. So fertilizers should be applied judiciously and scientifically in terms of proper time and dose. Irrigation. As you have already studied in class 8 that irrigation is timely supply of water to the crops through human efforts from sources other than rain. But why there is need of irrigation? In India, agriculture is mainly rain fed. That is a basic source of water for crops is rainfall. The crop productivity is largely dependent on timely and adequate rainfall. But rain may or may not provide the right amount of water at the right time. Poor monsoon cause crop failure. Therefore, to obtain proper crop yield, it is necessary that growing crops get water at the right stages. This is possible through irrigation. Nowadays, we are using some modern methods also to irrigate our field. These are river lift system, sprinkler irrigation system, drip irrigation. So, let's talk about them in short. River lift system. Areas which are situated nearby rivers get water directly from the river. Water from river is lifted directly to the field for irrigation through pumps or local devices. In a sprinkler irrigation system, as the name suggests, we sprinkle the water on the plants. So overhead pipes or sprinklers are used for spraying water over the crop plant. This system is recommended for sandy soil and for uneven land where uniform distribution is not possible. Next is drip irrigation. This system provides water to the plant drop by drop directly near the roots. Thus plants get regular water supply and water is not wasted. Now next in crop production management category is cropping pattern. So we have already studied about the irrigation. Now cropping pattern. There are different ways of growing crops. These different ways can be used to give maximum benefit. They are called cropping patterns. Instead of growing a single crop in one field, farmers are advised to raise 2 or more crops simultaneously on the same piece of land. This ensures increased crop production and protection against pests and pathogens. Commonly used cropping patterns are mixed cropping, intercropping, and crop. So in intercropping, 2 or more crops are grown simultaneously in the same field in alternate rows. It is an improved version of mixed cropping. The crop combination used in mixed cropping are practiced in intercropping too. There are different types of intercropping: row cropping, alley cropping, strip cropping. So what the farmers do in row cropping, different component crops are grown in alternate rows. And in alley cropping, the crops are grown in between rows of trees. And in strip cropping, multiple rows of one crop alternate with multiple rows of another crop. They are grown this way. Mixed cropping, growing two or more different crops together at the same time in the same field as a mixture without any proportion or pattern is called mixed cropping. Farmers mix seeds of two or more types and sow them simultaneously to meet their domestic needs. That is why they are called, this type of cropping pattern is called mixed cropping, because they are mixing the seeds of various different crops and they without any proportion or pattern. What are the basic objectives of mixed cropping is that mixed cropping ensures against crop failure and crop damage. Now, what are the crops that are combined in this mixed cropping? They combine wheat and mustard, wheat and chickpea, and wheat and gram and ragi. So this type of crops they mix and they sow in the same field. Now, crop rotation. Crop rotation may be defined as a practice of growing different crops on the same piece of land in a pre-planned succession. If the same piece of land is used to grow the same crop year after year, the soil loses much of its fertility and the crop yield decreases considerably. So to overcome this problem, what the farmers do, they sow one type of crop one year, like they sow maize on the first year, and in the next year they will sow mustard. In the same way, they will sow wheat first in the first year, and in the second year they will sow the rice plant. So these cropping patterns, if we are going to follow these cropping patterns, they are very advantageous for the crop yield. Now students, in the next we will study about the crop protection management and animal husbandry in our next class. Thank you.